Hello, this demo video is on how to set up storage replication in asynchronous mode. Let's take a use case where SQL Server database is hosted on a NetApp storage. The database is protected using NetApp SnapCenter and the volumes are replicated to secondary controller. In this demo, we will first set up SnapMirror relationship between primary controller and multiple secondary controllers, then cascade SnapMirror relationship to a tertiary controller. Finally, using SnapCenter, we will restore the database to alternate SQL host using snapshot from secondary controller. So, we have access to all four controllers using NetApp ONTAP System Manager. SQL Server host SQL01 hosts a database size of 21 GB. Along with database files, same drive also contains large flat files created by monthly batch processors. SQL database has separate volumes for SQL data file and log file residing on cluster 1. Storage efficiency with background dedupe and compression is enabled on SQL data volume. Total saving of 30 GB via compression and up to 950 MB by dedupe is observed on this volume. Now let's create a SnapMirror relationship between cluster 1 and cluster 2. The complete process is simple and can be configured using NetApp ONTAP System Manager. First, create cluster peering. To do this, go to Configuration, Cluster Peer. Provide destination and source intercluster LIF address. Generate cluster 1 passphrase from cluster 1 system manager. Copy the passphrase in cluster peering workflow to authenticate and establish cluster peering. Click Continue to create SVM peering. Select the correct destination SVM name and provide the source SVM name. Send the request to source SVM to initiate SVM peering. Go to Cluster 1 System Manager, Configuration, SVM Peers, and click Accept for SVM peering. After SVMs are peered successfully, navigate to Cluster 2 System Manager, validate peering and complete the workflow. Now proceed to volume relationships under Protection category and create a mirror protection between volumes on Cluster 1 and Cluster 2. Select the relationship type as mirror, validate the cluster name and SVM name. Select appropriate volumes to be SnapMirror. In this case, it is SQL data 01 and SQL log 01. Add a suffix to the volume name to differentiate between SnapMirror data protection volume and other read-write volume. Click Create. Perform same task to create SnapMirror relationship between cluster 3 and cluster 1. A total of 8 asynchronous SnapMirror relationships can be created. To create cascading relationship between secondary controller and tertiary controller, perform the same task to create cluster peering and SVM peering, but this time between cluster 2 and cluster 4. Use command line interface to create SnapMirror relationship. Before that, ensure a DP volume is created on cluster 4 with a similar volume size as on cluster 1 and enable storage efficiency. Execute the following command to create SnapMirror relationship between cluster 2 and cluster 4. The command line is simple. Just specify the SVM name along with the volume name for source path and destination path. Then execute command to initialize process to synchronize volumes. Later, use System Manager to check if the SnapMirror relationship is healthy. Next, go to each cluster and verify if storage efficiency got replicated to all the clusters. You will notice that storage efficiency is consistent with 30 GB compression and around 850 MB of deduplication. Now let's restore SQL database from secondary controller using SnapCenter. NetApp SnapCenter takes application consistent backup. While configuring backup policy, user can define whether the snapshot copy needs to be replicated to secondary controller. SnapCenter periodically discovers volume and its relationship and thus keeps a track of snapshot copies taken from SnapCenter on primary and secondary controller. Go to SnapCenter database topology view. It will show the available database snapshot. Click Mirror Copies box. Select the snapshot copy to restore. Since there are multiple clusters configured for SnapMirror, select one of the cluster volume. Select alternate SQL host to restore database. In this case, it is SQL O2. Provide alternate database name to be restored on host. Ignore remaining content in the wizard and click Finish. After some time, check the status of restore operation from SnapCenter Monitor tab. Thanks for watching this demo. For more videos, check out the SnapCenter playlist on YouTube.